as Divine is the drag queen persona. So where she played Ricky Lake's mom in the original Hairspray. Hence why anytime you see any kind of iteration of Hairspray, it's usually a man in drag playing the mom, right? Because that's how the film was. And so people have kind of stuck to that formula of having a drag queen as the mom. And so if I'm not mistaken, Divine was the inspiration for Ursula, and they actually wanted Divine to voice Ursula for the original The Little Mermaid. However, Divine did die, I think like was sick and then died in the 80s before The Little Mermaid came out, because if I'm not mistaken, I think The Little Mermaid, when did it come out? Movie, I think The Little Mermaid came out in 1989. Yep. And Divine died in 88. So the replacement for Divine was actress and singer Pat Carroll. And again, people kind of like, they associate Pat Carroll's voice, which was very deep, it had a lot of bass, a lot of baritone, again, with the drag queen, which is like a man, a manly voice, poor unfortunate soul, like that. Which is like one of my favorite Disney villain songs, like to this day. So, when you hear Melissa McCarthy was cast, it was like, like really, like they, again, because people have the perception that it's supposed to be a drag queen, and if not a drag queen, then a black woman, because most people believe that drag queens are a caricature of black women anyway. So, they're sassy, they're funny, they got big hair, oh my word, like all that other shit. So whatever the case may be, those were like the two options. And so a lot of people were like really upset and like, that should have been Titus. It should have been Titus. If I'm not mistaken, there was one Halloween where Titus did dress up as Ursula, and everyone was like, yas, queen, like this needs to be you. And, Melissa got it. However, the news, a few days later, the news dropped that Halle Bailey was going to be Ariel, and so it was like, oh shit, the tables have turned. Not a white person the villain, and not a black girl the hero, and all that extra junk. And so of course you're gonna have tons of like whiteies in their feelings, because it's like, oh, Ariel is supposed to be white, like that doesn't make any sense. Her hair is supposed to be red, and black people don't have red hair, and it's like she's a fucking mermaid. So I mean, people are also not supposed to have tails, and fins instead of fucking feet. But okay, let's be mad that, she's black and can't have red hair. I mean, the shits. So, see where this is all going. This is all going back to me saying I'm sick of these live action remakes. I'm really, really tired of them, because as I previously mentioned last year when we were talking about, what were we talking about at the time? I think we were talking about Aladdin and like Mulan and all those other, and the Cinderellas and whatever. It's a money grab, right? This is Disney's way of just getting more money out of people. This is Disney's way of, jumping on the nostalgia bandwagon and basically preying on our, being a predator, yes, and preying on our nostalgic feels, right? Those of us who grew up in the late 80s, early 90s, and who were old enough to watch these films and comprehend what was going on. Of course, you hear The Little Mermaid and you're like, oh my God, I remember seeing that as a kid. And if you have kids now, then it's like, oh my goodness, I want my kids to have the same feelings I felt when I saw The Little Mermaid. So now you want to take your kids to go see these, $17.50 live action movies. Where I just feel like, listen, Disney, let this shit out the vault, because there was a vault. Let this shit out the vault, re-release it in theaters, remaster it, add an extra scene. They did that with Beauty and the Beast, right? Where they remastered the film, and then they added on like an extra, a score, which was Will Be Human again, and all other stuff like that. And they re-released it in theaters, and it still made money. I mean, do that. Do that. I feel like, especially with The Lion King, I feel like they were really targeting black folks. especially with Beyonce. You know, they were like, oh, let's make the cast like as black as we can without making it too black, because come on now, guys. And then let's add Beyonce, because even though they had James, they had Donald, they had Alfre Woodard, because Alfre Woodard is now replacing the mother Sarabi, because the original actress, oh word, what was her name? I'm gonna find that really quickly, because I feel like you know, that it's really disrespectful of me to not know her name. Madge Sinclair. There we go. Madge Sinclair, because she actually she passed away in 1995. So like around the time that the movie actually came out, actually she passed away not too long after that. So Madge Sinclair, you know, she's no longer with us. So they have Alfre Woodard coming back and playing that role. You know, they're like, oh, who's a black person that can bring in a lot of black people but still keep the white folks happy? Beyonce, right? Despite the fact that we all know that Beyonce does not have the greatest resume when it comes to acting, right? And despite the fact that Nala did not have any singing sequences in the film. Now, in the musical, she does have a song in the musical. What's the name of the song? It's called, I forgot the name of the damn song. It's a really beautiful song, Shadowland. There you go. There's a song called Shadowland when you watch the Lion King musical, which I have, and it is extraordinary. And the song rose to prominence with Heather Headley, Trinidadian bloop bloop, who was casted as Nyla in I think in the first few runs, or maybe in the second iteration of the Broadway musical. Heather Headley, she murked that song, like murdered it. So I can only imagine that even though Shadowland was not a song in the film, it was music, and it was the music. It was the music, I think, when you know, it was, what was the score? What was the scene? I think it was like when Sarabi was coming to Scar, and it was like, there's no food, there's no this, there's no that. And like Nala basically was like, I'm going to leave the pride to go find food. That music, that score is Shadowland. And so in the musical, they actually put words to it. And, you know, so Nala has a song. So they're probably more than likely, because it's Beyonce, they're not going to have Beyonce in the friggin' Lion King and not have her sing. So they're probably going to have she and Simba sing Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Because it was like a voiceover singing in the original cartoon. So they're probably going to have their version of it playing in the cartoon. And they're more than likely going to have the Shadowland song in the cartoon as well, because why not? Let's give Beyonce something to sing. And they're probably going to have her sing Circle of Life at the end, and have all of them sing Circle of Life at the end. So that way, you know, let's milk Beyonce for as much as we can. It's Beyonce. Which again, to me, is like such a money grab. It's such, to me, like a sucker move to get black folks to come out and have a big purchasing power with Disney. I think, you know, Disney is aware of the purchasing power of black folks and the pandering power, you know, the power of pandering. Cause look at Black Panther, right? Look at that. 2 fucking animal movies that black folks are interested in seeing, right? People wanted to see Black Panther, which is about another fucking feline, you know, superhero with T'Challa, and all the black folks came out in droves and made that movie skyrocket. And now here's the Lion King with Nala and Simba, and now the black folks are gonna come right the fuck back out and be like, oh my goodness, I gotta support, it's black folks in there. Disney don't give a shit. Disney don't care. Let's be serious. Disney doesn't care. If they did, they wouldn't be making these remakes. So there's that. So to get back to the Little Mermaid thing, I feel like, again, another tool, another way of them pandering to the black folks, because it's like, how can we get black folks to watch the Little Mermaid? Oh, let's make Ariel black. That might bring them out, because they're always complaining about that lack of diversity thing. So let's give them another one. Let's throw them another bone, because I guarantee you the rest of these live actions, you're not gonna find a lot of black folks in them. How much you want bet? Like that Tinkerbell movie, they ain't gonna make Tinkerbell black. They ain't gonna make Sleeping Beauty black. They didn't make Belle black. And they made the dumbest Disney princess black. Like, let me take it back for a second. Let me be a real G about this. Let me get into my head scratching affair with Disney with this film. My overall issue with the Little Mermaid is the fact that Ariel, to me, is quite possibly the dumbest of the Disney princesses. Okay, she basically trades being a princess in an underwater kingdom where people can fall at her fin for some dick she never got. Okay, she trades some fins for a period once a month and a vagina that she did not know was going to be penetrated by Eric. Let's be 1,000 about that, okay? Because if this girl thought a fork was a dingle hopper and that it was a brush for her hair, she damn sure did not know what a vagina was. She damn sure did not know how the human vagina worked. All them books and shit that floated to the bottom of the ocean and she was collecting in her little treasure trove, not one of them spoke about human physiology. How much you want to bet? Okay. What's that called? Oh, feet. Yes. So if she couldn't remember that them shits was called feet, she damn sure did not learn about the vagina. And then it's like, what happened after she realized that this thing between my legs, Eric, is going to want to poke it on a regular? And then after he pokes it, a baby pops right out of it, and it's full with blood and pus and all that extra shit. And then after I push that one out, Eric's going to want to come right back in it. She didn't think twice about that. I also say that she was one of the dumbest princesses in the Disney pantheon is because of the mere fact that Ariel knew how to write her name, right? When Ursula gives her the contract to sign over her voice, she can sign her name, Ariel. But she gets on land and she can't take the same quill and some ink and write a letter to Eric saying, hey, boo, I was the one that saved you when your boat crashed. I was the girl who was singing to you on the beach. I need you to kiss me like you really love me in order to stay here. Otherwise, I gotta go back in the sea. Ariel did not think once at all to do that. And I mean, she didn't even have to, let's say she didn't even have to do all of that much. Like, you're standing on the beach, take a stick, write your name in the sand, Ariel. He's like, you look familiar, right? Yes, you know me. Yes, I know you. Something. She didn't do any of that shit. And then on top of that, she had the unmitigated gall to think that she could swim towards, when they were at the climax of the denouement of the movie, when Ursula's Vanessa, quote unquote, was, they were going to get their little seaside sunset marriage wedding or whatever, and the boat goes off and she dives in the water. Girl, you know how to swim with fins, not with feet. Come on, Ariel. I know a lot of people love Ariel. A lot of people love her. They think she's so great. I really think she's like the dumbest of the dumb. She was all like, I'm 16. I'm not a child anymore. Like, she was doing a lot of that. She was doing a lot of pouting. She did the most for a guy that she did not know. And who was just as dumb to take a strange ass woman into his house. Hello, like, you're a prince. What if she was here to assassinate you or something? Like, his vizier or counselor or advisor, whatever the guy was, I can't remember what he was, but he was just like, we don't know her. He was like, nah, relax, we're cool, we're gonna take her in the house, take her shopping, riding her around the kingdom. How, Sway? How? How you just taking strays off the street? And not one, but two bitches. Because after Vanessa had her spell on him, he takes her in the house too and got the two of them in there. Nobody looking at this prince like he a pimp? Like Pimp Eric? Like nobody